Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout using the March Scraptastic kit. This is the third layout using this kit and it took me another quick one, 37 minutes to complete. And I'm showing you some of the products and some of the pattern papers that I'm going to be using. And again, I'm going to be using a pattern as a background. I'm going to be starting my 6th layout, and the first 5 layouts I've used pattern paper as background. And I figured out it wasn't because I didn't want to use my pattern papers as background. Is the last kit, it was very busy backgrounds, and this time there's a lot of grids, there's a lot of more pattern papers that I would want to use as background. I think that's what it is. Maybe next month I'll change my mind again. I don't know. So I used a Kaiser Craft. I found a stamp. To me, it kind of reminded me of the texture of maybe an elephant's back. And I wanted to add texture to the background. And so I used some charcoal ink from Hero Arts. And I'm kind of figuring out where I'm going to put that photo. And then I'm going to add some ink. At first, kind of very decided where, planned, I guess, where I want to put it. And then at the end, I'm just going to take my stamp set and just stamp all over. Because the first one that I did, you're barely going to see it because I'm going to put some pattern paper over that. So I just kind of wanted to give that impression of, elephant's back, or skin, not back, elephant skin. And then I mounted my photo on that basil yellow cardstock. And then I'm going to use that Amy Tangerine +1 paper with all the hearts. And I love that some of the hearts are in yellow. And I wanted this layout to be 2 colors, gray and yellow, and black, I guess. And so that pattern paper, I believe it's the backside to, yes, it's the backside to the heart paper. So it's Amy Tangerine +1. It's black with white polka dots, and it's not perfect polka dots. So it really looks cute with this layout. And I wanted to preserve as much as I could. So I just cut 2 little slivers out of it. And even though the pattern paper is black, I'm still going to outline it because in person, you can still see that it's outlined. Maybe not in pictures or on video, but in person, it does give it a little bit of texture. So I'm using my pattern paper as a guide to make sure that the pattern looks like it's, one big piece of pattern paper. And now I'm going to glue that square right, not in the middle, it's more to the right than to the left. And that was on purpose. Most of the time I don't like stuff right down the middle. Once in a while I do, like the last layout I did was right in the middle. But most of the time I like it over to one side or the other. I don't think I have a preferred side. And the only way that I could really tell that is if I went through my layouts but I don't consciously say, okay, I want to, I always start off to the left side or always start off to the right side. I think the pictures kind of decide that for me. And again, I sat down with a bunch of photos and I had already done my paper selection with those photos. I kind of went through and said, okay, divided them, with themed or, different stacks of pictures. And then I went through and said, oh, that picture would look really good with those stacks of pattern papers. And once I had 7 of those put out, then I went through my supplies with all the embellishments and said, okay, this, for example, this pattern paper right here, I want to keep it yellow and gray and black. And I just took out a whole bunch of embellishments. It doesn't mean that they're all going to get used up on this layout, and that's okay because then it just goes back into my bucket. And once I'm done the 7 layouts, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do that again. And what a difference that little extra step has done. Like usually I would sit down and maybe do 1 or 2 that I would do that for, but this time I did 7. And after I'm done this 4 voiceovers. I'm going to start out layout number 7 in 3 days. I did 7 layouts in 3 days. Like, it's just, sorry, 6. I'm going to be starting my 6th layout. So 6 layouts in 3 days. And one of those days I was gone for 12 hours. That's pretty good. And because we had gone to visit my grandson, and we left at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I guess I was gone more than 12 hours, because I was gone 7 and we only came home at 10 o'clock at night. So I was gone for 15 hours and still managed to do a layout that day when I got home at 10. So it seems to be helping. And I think it's really going to help when I work a night shift and I come home. If it's already like that, I just going to, go to it and work for half an hour or so. Now I took those embellishments that I had kind of pulled aside and started dividing them into three different clusters. And here's another ladybug. And I'm still going to use that 7 Gypsies roller stamp that I have had in my stash forever. And I was looking for something else, and I found this. And I stamped out the word adventure. And then the burst that I'm gluing down right now, and I'm going to ink everything in black. And the burst right there, it says smile. And then the other one, excuse me, is the ampersand. No, the @ sign. And then it looks like I put smile at adventure. And now I'm going to add some stars, 3 yellow stars to the layout. And I'm also going to add some yellow and gray enamel dots from my stash. And I added some gray and white or clear washi tape. That's also from my stash. And that's basically the only thing that I seem to be adding to the Scraptastic kits is dots and washi and twine. So that's awesome. And then there was some labels that came from Oramalu. I cut them apart, and I'm going to add it to the 3 different spots of the layout. And the title, I used the jelly bean letters that came in the kit to write the word gentle. And then the alphas that came, the thickers that came in the kit, the gray ones, I'm going to use it to write giant. And what else did I do? I'm just figuring out where I'm going to put those labels. And I'm going to use some gray twine. And I'm going to ink all the edges. And I'm using my new mini ink tool, blending tool from Tim Holtz Ranger. Love that tool. I love it because it's even smaller to hold in your hand. And now I'm going to take some gray and white twine, and I'm going to ball it up, and I'm going to put it to 3 different areas on the layout. And I did use a flare also on this layout, and it's of a little camera, Instagram camera. So I just glued that to the big die cut that said caught on camera. And that was actually one of the pattern papers from Simple Stories. And it was all 3x3 cards. And what I do is I cut everything up before I start playing with the kit. Because if I have to cut anything down, I'm not going to use it. Because when I start scrapping, I don't want to stop and do anything. I just want to scrap. So then I'm going to add some gray. That's called Passport. And yellow. And I think it's called Sunshine. Mr. Huey. And I'm going to add it to all the little clusters on the layout. I'm going to show you some close-ups of each cluster. And that's it. That's another page done. So thanks for watching. Bye.